guys, welcome back. Sorry I've been a little MIA lately. I had wanted to do a foster care update, was it 2 weeks ago already? And every day I'm just like, I don't know what to update because I don't know what's going on. So the update is getting pushed back a little bit. My decluttering series is getting pushed back a little bit. But hopefully, eventually, I'll know more about what's going on in life and can both give you an update and do some decluttering. In the meantime, it has been a month since I decided to do a social media detox, and I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about how it went, tips that I've learned in the last few years as I've done a couple of them, and just some thoughts going forward, as well as some like really practical ideas on how you can reduce your social media time. Okay, so like I said, it's been just over a month now since I started this detox, and my plan had been to just, do the month of August, kind of do a reset. I have done this a couple times in the past. Usually it's over the Christmas month. Often I'll start it kind of like mid-November and it will go through December. Sometimes I continue it into January. But this time I had intended for it to be August, and now we are a week into September already. I got a new phone like a couple weeks into August, and I haven't even logged into Instagram on here. So even though my actual detox is over, I still haven't even logged into Instagram here. So when it comes to a detox, I think the best thing to figure out first is figure out like what are your trouble areas / the areas you want to fix. For me, when it comes to social media, I don't like to spend much time on Instagram, and I don't like to spend much time on Facebook. I'm okay with YouTube. I know lots of people consider that a social media, but I feel like I consume it differently. I don't, for me, social media, the detox comes in when I feel like I'm doing things mindlessly. And for me, when I'm watching YouTube, it's not generally a mindless thing. Either I'm looking up specific information or I'm like intentionally relaxing and wanting to watch YouTube. So to me, that one is not a form of social media I care about. Things like TikTok and Snapchat, I totally forgot what it was called. I'm like this little old lady, that snapshot that you do. I've never even been a part of those, so those aren't a problem. So really it's just Instagram and Facebook. Facebook has been a process for me. I've kind of haven't done it as much in the last few years, but Instagram was like for sure one that I knew I wanted to change this time around. So if you're thinking of doing a social media detox, just like spend some time to think about what it is that you want to change, because if you don't think it through, I think, and maybe even think of some of the reasons why, then it will be harder to follow through with it. For me, I knew with Instagram I was feeling a lot of feelings of jealousy when I was on there recently, and and the whole like mindless scrolling when I could have been doing other things. I had other things to do. So that was the biggest reason I wanted to take a break from there. For Facebook, I have struggled with the fact that everyone expects you to know what's going on in their lives because they posted it on Facebook. And so I found it easier kind of just to be like, oh, sorry, I didn't know because I wasn't on Facebook, so tell me about this or that or the other thing. And I know I can be guilty of the same thing. If you post something, you kind of just assume people are going to see it. And I know I need to realize that that's not always the case as well. So kind of once you have your trouble areas and your reason why, then I think it's time to make a plan. So for me, my biggest thing is I didn't want to be doing social media on my phone, because that is when I feel like the mindlessness can just step in, right? You're in the line at the grocery store and you have to wait a few minutes, so you pull out your phone. Or you're sitting on the couch and you don't want to get up, so you pull out your phone, and that's what I wanted to stop. So for me, I knew what I wanted to do was to not have social media on my phone. So I uninstalled, or I logged out of Instagram. I didn't even uninstall. I figured if I found it being a problem, if I was like logging back in, I could uninstall it. But for me, logging out was enough of a thing. I haven't had Facebook on my phone for, I don't know, a few years, I think. And that has been a real game changer as well. Then I knew that if I wasn't going to have Instagram on my phone, so that works well for a detox, but what about when you want to get back into it? I have decided that I'm only going to use Instagram either on the desktop or a device, like I have a tablet. but I don't just like sit around with it all the time, so I would need to intentionally get it out for that. So those are kind of like the 2 times I can use Instagram. So you can scroll through Instagram on a computer and you can post. I like to use Hootsuite because then I can like schedule my posts, or you could just do it automatically as well. But that way I feel like I have to sit down and do it. It's not that mindless scrolling once again. So for me, those are kind of the things I've decided going forward that I want to do with Instagram. I still haven't even logged into my personal account. My homeschool account I plan on starting back up here right away. I used it a bit during the detox, but I used it on the desktop and used Hootsuite to schedule. So I was using it to kind of like promote my business and drive traffic to my website and my homeschool YouTube videos and stuff like that, but I wasn't using it necessarily in the same way. I find I use my personal social media and my like business social media differently. Facebook, I've got some really good tips for Facebook. So for probably the last 4 or 5 years, I have used a Chrome extension called Newsfeed Eradicator, where you don't have a newsfeed. It just takes out your entire newsfeed, so you don't like go onto Facebook intending to check something and getting like sucked in right away. And then, so I've had that for a number of years. And then what I've done this year is I have bookmarked certain pages on Facebook that I like to visit. So for me, I've got like a few different homeschool pages that I like to go onto. And then I have a few people in my life that I like to keep tabs on via Facebook, which sounds a little creepy, but I don't mean it to be creepy. And so I have just bookmarked their profiles. And then that way I can go see what their updates are without having to get sucked into any kind of like Facebook black hole. And for Facebook, I can use those bookmarks on my phone on Chrome as well. But I just try to be intentional with understanding that I'm not on Facebook just to like scroll. And this has been a multi-year journey for me on Facebook, kind of like getting off of it. I don't want to be completely off of it because I know I have neighbors that are on it that I can communicate with, but I also want people to realize that that is not the best way to get a hold of me. I have tons of Facebook messages that I just don't reply to because I don't want that to be necessarily how people think of to get a hold of me, I guess. I don't want to be that accessible to people. Most people have my phone number or can get a hold of me some other way. I have contact information all over the place. I have my email address all over the place. People can get a hold of me that way. I have not had Messenger, Facebook Messenger on my phone for years and years. I kind of hate it. So it kind of involves retraining some of the people in your life to realize that they have to try other ways to get a hold of you. And some people are going to be really good with that and they are going to contact you other ways, and some people won't. And I feel like maybe that's a good indicator of, you know, friendships that are worth continuing and pursuing, and friendships that are okay just to be left for the season. Now, in addition, something you can do if you want to use your phone or even on the computer, you can set yourself time limits for different apps or different websites. I haven't felt the need to do that for myself, but that is a tool that is available if you're finding that to be a bit of a struggle or you want those extra parameters on there. And then one thing that I've done whenever I have these detoxes is I make an intentional point of sending photos to friends and family. Like, so if I'm thinking, oh, this is a perfect picture I would share on Instagram, but I'm doing an Instagram detox, then I think about, okay, who in my life do I actually like really want to see this picture? And then I send that picture to them. And I feel like that's obviously much more personal and also much more appreciated. So that is something that I try to continue even when I'm like done a detox, is think about being intentional with connecting more one-on-one with people in my life. So if I'm thinking about sharing something, think about, is this better off just sharing it with a few people? So I feel like that has been really helpful in some of my relationships. So going forward, I plan on continuing a number of these different things, techniques, and habits that I've started. I still don't plan on installing Instagram or logging into Instagram on my phone anytime soon. I'm going to be using the desktop and Hootsuite to manage my Instagram. I plan on continuing to use Newsfeed Eradicator. I don't see myself ever getting rid of that. I'm just going to continue to use my bookmarks for the few Facebook pages I want to use, and I'm going to continue pretty much not responding to most Facebook messages. I might put up, this might be an idea, is to put up a message on my Facebook page with like my email address and my phone number being the last like post that I've done. That way if people want to get a hold of me, it's very easily accessible, because I know some people don't try very hard when it comes to that, so it can make it super easy for them. And then, like I said, YouTube I don't really find to be a specific form of social media I need to try to like detox from. And then the other ones, I plan on like never trying a new form of social media. I mean, maybe that's not quite true, but it's gonna take a lot for me to like jump on another social media bandwagon. Something that I have found that is helpful when either doing a detox or before a detox or just any time really is making a list of things like, okay, so I feel like I'm spending too much time on social media. What is it that I would like to be spending my time doing otherwise? Do I want to be learning some kind of art? For me, that would be like filming or something, because I'm not at all like artistic as far as drawing goes. Do I want to be reading? And the answer is yes. Yes, I always want to be reading. Is there different things I want to be doing, or do I want to go on like day trips with my family? Do I want to do something specific with my kids? Like just write a different, like a full list of ways I would like to be spending my time. And then when I have this extra time with a detox, or when I feel like, okay, I need to like put my phone down, pick one of those things off of the list and go out and do it. And then I feel like a person will feel so much better and more filled up, because you are spending time doing things, just doing things, I guess. Instead of just consuming, you are also like creating in some way. You are creating memories, you are creating adventures, you are creating a piece of art. Instead of just consuming social media and kind of just following that cycle of constantly consuming media. Okay, I think that is all for my thoughts on like social media usage going forward and detoxes and stuff like that. I do plan on continuing to do a detox at least once a year. Generally it's over December for me. I really like that, although at this point there's not a whole lot to actually detox from, which I also really appreciate. Let me know if you have any other tips or suggestions that might be helpful for other people, and leave those ideas in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys.